Hey guys, Ashlane here. Very special episode for you guys. I had a chance to sit down with Clash Tutor. Heather is a great clasher, and she's one of the most knowledgeable people, and I think one of the most underrated Clash of Clans channels out there. So be sure to check her out after you're done listening to this video. I'll put the description in the link, and guys, without further ado, enjoy this conversation we have. I will apologize just a little bit for my recording quality. The quality could be a little bit better, but hopefully you guys can make it through because there are some great points that she brings up throughout this conversation. So guys, enjoy. So I am now here with Heather from Clash Tutor. What's going on, Heather?
Hey, not too much. How you doing, Ash?
I'm doing well. It's nice to finally chat with you. I've been an admirer of your guides and your videos for a long time now, so really happy that we got together.
Well, the feeling's mutual. I was super excited when you messaged me, so I feel like I've made it. Now I'm legit because Clash with Ash has, wants to talk to me, so I'm excited about this.
Stop. But what I wanted to do is maybe have a conversation. We talked a little bit briefly before we started recording on a few ideas we had, all revolving around the future of clan wars and maybe tournaments and arranged wars. We have a variety of topics to start. So I figure if it's cool with you, we can just start about talking about the recent matchmaking changes in Clash of Clans.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited about these.
What is your take on it?
Oh, I think it's a really good thing. I think it's going to be a better war system for everybody. Matchups should be more fair. We're not going to be getting as many complaints about the mismatches. I do see that there could be loopholes in it. There could be ways that people can game the system, but I also feel that the Clash team is more than aware of them as well. And, they know the tricks that we're playing, better than we do. So I think there's likely a lot of things in there where they're really trying to keep things balanced and trying to keep those Town Hall 11 offenses with Town Hall 8 defenses at having, big advantages or having that being a viable option.
Yeah, I think that I'm with you in being overall, I have a positive outlook on the changes. Now, there are a couple things that made me raise an eyebrow, like as far as the weighting system, how they addressed that. It was kind of opposite the way that I had thought they would do it in terms of making defense heavier. It just, to me, that makes it even more viable to upgrade offense and then wait on defense. Hence, it gives more. It gives more validation to the whole 0.5 upgrade method. So I was a little surprised by that, but I don't really have a problem with it necessarily. I just didn't think that was the direction they'd go.
Right, because before they came out with this, we had all been talking. I had even done a video like, is 0.5 completely dead? Because there's something out there in the water that we just don't understand that's making 0.5s just getting creamed. And when I saw that update, I'm just like, oh yeah, 0.5's back. This is. Because you can't totally discount offense, and it almost feels that way. It's like,
it will be weird. It will be weird to see what actually happens. But you're right. When you say something was in the water, like I totally get the feeling is that I think it's been all of us to a large extent have seen these really weird mismatches after Town Hall 11 update. Like something's funky going on in the war matching algorithms. So
right.
I hope this fixes that.
I do too. And I hope it kind of balances it out where people don't feel that they're going to have a huge advantage by doing offense only. That they're going to remain more balanced, because I think that's just going to make it a more fun war environment for us, because we're doing it because there is an advantage. I don't think we really want to. I don't think anybody wants to have an all offense type of base, but we do it because it's beneficial to our clan.
Yeah, there's definitely, you take the individual hit, but then obviously, your clan stands to benefit in clan wars. And you're seeing a lot more people start to do that, So it will be interesting to see what clan compositions are actually like after this actually goes live. So I know I'm excited to see. We'll have to wait, I guess. But what do you think of the whole win streak aspect of it?
So I think that's really interesting, and I'm super curious to know just how much of a factor this is going to be in, the matchup, because, ideally what it's going to end up doing is all the farming clans, they'll sink to the bottom of the pool and they'll start warring with each other. And all the high profile elite clans are going to rise to the top and they're going to start warring with each other. And then pretty soon it's all going to even out. We're all going to be in the middle of the pool.
Yeah.
So it's, how much is that really going to factor into it? And then when we start trying to do other things like arranged wars, then how difficult is that going to be to match up with somebody if this is a really high factor in determining a match?
Yeah, you know what? I want to talk about the arranged wars, but you mentioned something that, I don't know why, but it has not even crossed my mind. It's funny, I put out a 20-minute episode talking all about these matchmaking changes, but it never crossed my mind because I just don't think about it too often, but that the farm clans are all going to drop. You're totally right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if the farming war clans are going to be a possibility now.
Well, it's like they're going to farm each other. They should be happy with that. And maybe it's going to give them some incentive. Yeah, they're going to have more incentive to actually try and win because,
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. It's going to devolve. Yeah. It's going to devolve into something where I guess they take turns or something. But you're right. They're all going to they're going to have to win, and then they're going to be bumped up a little bit. It's going to be weird, but the win streak factor. You're right on the other end too. It does put the elite war clans against each other way more often. So in a way, it makes arranged wars really hard, I think. But in another way, it also organically kind of brings them together, Right.
It makes regular wars much more competitive, much more fun, which was the whole point of doing arranged wars in the first place. Exactly. So it kind of makes you wonder how much are arranged wars going to be, as important if we're going to be able to just match up with each other organically.
That's a great question. So what is your hunch on that? Does this if this is done well, does it eliminate the need for arranged wars?
I think there's always going to have, people are going to have that desire to do arranged wars. Mm-hmm. The one thing with it, though, is I don't think there's many clans out there who are aware of each other who want to actually match up. It's kind of there needs to be something else out there that is allowing more clans to get to know each other. That's like, hey, we want to go to war together. And I think this whole thing with the clan wars and how we're going to start matching up, where you're actually going to be battling other clans that are more competitive and along your level, you're going to start to get to know these other clans better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree with you. And I do agree that, theoretically, this could eliminate a lot of the need for arranged wars because those competitive matchups. I mean, you look at all the clans that do arranged wars, mostly they're mixed clans. Once in a while, you'll get a truly, like in the dark type elite clan or totally max Town Hall 11 clan. But at the same time, the whole theory behind it, you nailed it again, is that the elite, the really good clans want to face other really good clans. So in theory, that should be solved. But also, you kind of, I still think there's a need somewhere, and maybe it will come to fruition with tournaments, but I still think there's a need in the game to match up against, planned matchups, because they're just so much fun, right?
Exactly, and that's what people want to see. I mean, that's why these YouTube wars are so popular, and people, are just tuning in and, watching the stream for 10 hours at a time, because there's so much excitement around them. So I think there's always going to be arranged wars. You're always going to want to see, your favorites going up against each other.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a lot of fun. I even tune in sometimes. I tuned into Powerbang's stream when his clan was facing One Hive, and I like seeing those too. And we have arranged wars not as often as some clans, but maybe like once a month in Red Elite. So. And it's always a lot of fun. So I know Jonas on his interview with Chief Pat straight up asked him, is there any chance of seeing arranged wars and clan wars? And unfortunately, almost brought a tear to my eye, Heather, but Jonas said, not really. No, there's no chance in seeing, he kind of shot it down, and he was pretty definitive about it. So I was really bummed out. And at that time, I had kind of mixed feelings about arranged wars, right? I could understand why, we as more competitive clashers, we see the game through our own lenses, and we're more competitive, and we like arranged wars, and we like things to be, more competitive, for lack of a better word. So but at the same time, there's millions of people, 100 million people out there who don't necessarily have a need for arranged wars. So I always try to see both sides of the spectrum, but I gotta be honest, with that said, I've come around in the last few months to still wanting it in the game, because I still think you need to keep the more competitive hardcore base really happy, and that's what drives the game. That's my new thinking there, but I'm curious to what your thoughts are on that.
I totally agree, because if you don't have that out there in the community and sharing it and people getting excited about it and learning these new strategies and the hype behind it that comes from YouTube and everything, I think you kind of lose that's just the average player. that is out there and wants to improve their war game and be excited about things, if you don't have those arranged wars and people bring in the hype to Clash of Clans, I think things start to crumble.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think you need to keep that really competitive base happy, and I think arranged wars would be, obviously this is nothing new. We've been asking for arranged wars for like a year now, but I think it would, even though they said it's probably not coming, I would love to see it, at least if they bring tournaments, I would love to see it in tournaments, because I think it's really something that would really dramatically reinvigorate that more hardcore competitive base.
Right. And I think what likely needs to happen is we need stepping stones. We need stepping stones to bring the rest of the community up to this level of play. Because it's kind of like how it was with 3-star attacking, is you have the majority of people out there who are just excited to learn Go Wipe. And you start talking to them about these 3-star hybrids, and they're just like, what are you even talking about? I don't even know how to go wipe. So it's like we're trying to bring these guys up to this higher level of attacking strategy, and I think it's the same kind of thing. We can't just say, okay, here's arranged wars, throw it out to the community. You guys are going to love this. It's like we need to start, kind of building people up to that level.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Now, do you have, because before I have my own little opinions here, but before I share, I'm curious as to you. Do you have your opinions at what that stepping stone process might be, or what an arranged war might entail as a beginner, as an intro?
Well, it's going to have to start with tournaments, I think, and that's and because that's something that they've said that they're looking into, right? So go with what they're willing to do.
Yeah.
So tournaments, I think, is where it's at, and I think there has to be a little bit more going on with just the normal clan war system. More than just like matching clans up with the win and loss record, there needs to be some kind of league with the war system where you're getting a higher clan war league point system based on the better clans that you're beating. So there has to be some kind of league in there based on your clan war weight that could then, fuel into the tournaments.
That's a great, that's a great idea. In order to do that, obviously they need to clean up the, the issue that thou shall not say, but it needs to be fair play,
Right.
That way the leagues mean something. And that's why, and that's one of my fears too is, and maybe it's a good thing really, but eventually you'll get all those, modern clans at the top of the pile,
Right.
Because they'll be on win streaks and they'll be facing each other. So that will be interesting to see how that. Hopefully they'll have an answer for that soon. But you never know. But I do agree with your overall premise that wars do need something else. I feel like they need something else. I mean, I feel like a year and a half now of clan wars has been great. But I would love to see, the league idea is awesome, and even if the arranged wars start with some sort of a cooldown, maybe you can only do one arranged war per 7 days or something, or per season even, it would just be a start that I would love.
I totally agree. And, I think they could do things with it too where, you don't get experience for it, you don't get any loot. It could be a short prep time, like, 4 hours prep time, 20 hours battle, so it's something quick. And then things like where if you want to match up with somebody, give a pop-up saying, hey, this is imbalance. Do you still want to go with it? And you can override it, but at least then it takes a little bit of the work out of us trying to match up and make things fair when we only have like such a small fraction of the algorithm anyways to try and determine what's going to be fair. So if we had something with the arranged wars, that would be really nice.
Exactly. You touched on two great points there. One is that we put so much work into arranging these wars that, geez, a simple little system would just be, that seems, to someone who's not a programmer, that seems like it shouldn't be that difficult to add, would just mean such a big, dramatic impact. If Supercell wanted to gain back some of the love lost recently in the war community, I think adding an arranged matchup would really go a long way. And the other thing you mentioned is the whole reject or the decline button. I think that's a great idea. Like, I think that even to add that without the whole range war system or with the range war systems, is give somebody like a one option to decline with a cooldown, The whole idea of a pop-up coming on the screen, just like you said, allowing the clans to, if they want to reject the war match, to reject a war match, and just having that on a cooldown, that would also solve so many mismatches. Now, obviously, you'd be waiting a little bit longer because someone could reject you as well. But, I said in one of my last videos that, me personally, I wouldn't mind waiting 2 or 3 hours if I knew the match was going to be perfectly fair.
Sure. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the wait time.
They don't, because then you're wasting 47 hours now if it is unfair. So I really hope that they add some of these little features. Even the little features, I think, would go a long way.
I agree. I think it'd be great. Yeah, because I think that's, you get to these scenarios where it gets demoralizing as a clan, and you feel like you're just in this uphill battle and you're just never going to win. So just these little tweaks, I think, would go a long way.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you wanted to chat about, or is that
Some of the things I thought about with kind of arranged wars and more hype is I would really like to see the TV Royale being brought into Clash, TV Clash. Where you can have outside spectators watching these high-profile clan wars. Because I watch these Clash or the TV Royale, and I see names like Apex. I don't know who this guy is, but now I know who this guy is.
Sure.
In full attack, because you see his attacks all the time.
Yep.
And so I think there's a lot of things like that where people need to get to know more of the other high-profile clans and players.
Absolutely. There used to be this guy, a YouTuber. Wow, name's totally not coming to me right now. It's Predator, and I'm not sure if you ever heard of him or watched him, but he used to do like the unofficial Clash of Clans rankings, and he would just track the top like 20 or 30 all maxed out clans and just do brief recaps of all their wars that they had against each other, and then he would do like a weekly episode. And he hasn't done it in a long time now, but I used to love that because I'm the type of person, kind of sounds like you, that I love seeing what's going on and the very top of the top. So that would be a great idea to have some kind of a TV Clash Royale, not Royale, but some highlight area would be awesome.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, that's a great idea. Hopefully we can see some of these things added in 2016, because I think it's, my gut tells me that this might be the year of more devoting to clan wars and clan war tournaments. So I hope that's the case.
Oh, I hope so too.
Well, thanks for chatting with me. It's been great, and you did not disappoint. Always bring great opinions and great content, as per expected. So thank you so much, Heather. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, Ash. I really appreciate you.
No problem. Take